Hey everyone, and welcome back. We're diving into fitness and resilience today, but with a twist.
Ooh, a twist.
Yeah, so we've got this really cool profile of Melia Bissiere, who's a fitness coach.
I know, her story is so inspiring.
Right, she's actually competing in Miss Health and Fitness right now.
Talk about goals.
And we've also got this stack of reviews on home workout equipment.
Rowing machines and treadmills, if I'm not mistaken.
You got it. But here's what I'm really curious about. How can we connect all of this to help you improve your well-being? Like, how do we make this practical?
That's the key, right? It's one thing to read about someone else's fitness journey, but how do you actually apply those lessons to your own life?
Exactly. So let's start with Melia Bissiere. What stood out to you the most about her story?
Honestly, I think it's the mindset shift she made. Like, her story isn't just about physical transformation, it's about a much deeper change.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
So, she was a journalist in Mauritius.
Yeah, in 2017, she made the switch to become a fitness coach.
Right. And she pinpointed stress as like a major reason for that change. It wasn't just about getting in shape, it was about managing her mental state as well.
That's interesting. It really shows you that fitness isn't just about aesthetics.
It's definitely a lot more than that.
And get this, she didn't just change careers, she moved from Mauritius to Canada.
Wow. Big life changes.
Yeah, but she kept those ties to her roots. She teaches Uber in both places.
I did not know that.
And she even supports charities back in Mauritius.
So cool. It's like she's found this balance between her new life and her heritage.
Right. And it speaks to that idea of holistic well-being. It's not just about your physical health. It's about community, your purpose, and giving back.
I totally agree. Malia is a great example of how all those pieces can fit together.
And she's not stopping there. This woman is competing in the Giz Health and Fitness competition.
No way.
Yes way. Like, talk about setting a high bar for yourself.
That's amazing. But it's also more than just a competition, right? It's like a platform for her to advocate for women's empowerment.
And she's also challenging this stigma around obesity.
Exactly. Plus, she's launching this project called Empower.
Empower, what is that?
It offers multi-sport classes and personalized fitness guidance.
Wow, I've got a lot going on.
She does, and she's rocking it all.
I love how she doesn't limit herself to just one thing, like Zumba spinning, body design, stretching, even boxing.
It's like she's saying, hey, there are so many ways to move your body. Find what you love and go for it.
I think that's a powerful message for anyone listening who might feel intimidated by fitness.
Totally. You don't have to be a marathon runner or a weightlifter. You just have to find what clicks for you.
Exactly. It's about your path, not trying to copy someone else's.
Speaking of paths, let's switch gears a bit and talk about the home workout equipment reviews.
Okay, yeah, let's get practical.
It's interesting to consider this in light of Milhia's goal of making fitness accessible.
Because not everyone can afford a gym membership or has the time to go.
Right, so having the right equipment at home can be huge.
And these rowing machine reviews are a perfect example. They cover everything from budget-friendly options to those high-tech machines with all the bells and whistles.
It's amazing how much variety there is these days.
So before we dive into specific models, let's talk about the core of a rowing machine.
The resistance system.
Okay, break it down for me.
So you've got magnetic, air hydraulic, and water resistance, and each one has its own advantages and disadvantages.
Got you. So let's say I live in an apartment with super thin walls, and I want to work out early in the morning without waking up my neighbors.
In that case, you definitely want to go for magnetic resistance.
Really? Why is that?
They're known for being really quiet, which is a major plus for apartment dwellers.
That makes sense. But what if I'm someone who really wants that feeling of being out on the water, feeling the resistance change with each stroke?
Then a lot of resistance is the way to go. It's the closest you'll get to actually rowing on a lake or river.
Cool. But aren't those the really big, bulky ones I've seen in gyms?
They can be larger, yes, and heavier, but there are also models designed specifically for home use that are much more compact. It really depends on what you're looking for.
So it's about finding that balance between features and practicality.
Exactly. And of course, comfort is super important too. These reviews emphasize the need for a good seat, proper rail length, and comfortable handles and footrests.
You don't want to be battling the machine. You want it to feel like an extension of your body.
Right. And then there are the features. Some of these rowing machines are like mini computers.
Seriously. Like, what kind of features are we talking about?
Well, you've got programmed workouts, tracking, even virtual coaching.
It's like having a personal trainer built right in.
Pretty much. And that level of guidance can be really helpful, especially if you're new to rowing.
And speaking of different types of workouts, let's not forget about treadmills.
Oh, yeah, they've come a long way, too.
They're not just for marathon training anymore. You can walk, jog, do incline training. The possibilities are endless.
It's interesting how treadmills like Melia's training offer that versatility.
Right, you can tailor them to your specific goals.
Exactly. So whether you're aiming for a gentle walk, a calorie torching run, or something in between, there's a treadmill out there for you.
We've got reviews here on the Sunny Health and Fitness Premium Treadmill. It's foldable and has incline options which is perfect for smaller spaces.
And of course, Nordic Track is back in the game with their model featuring iFit training programs.
Those iFit programs are amazing. You can really transform a simple treadmill into an immersive experience.
So it seems like we've got a lot to consider here. We've got Malia's story, which is all about finding your own path to fitness.
And we've got these reviews that show us just how much variety there is in home workout equipment.
But the question is, how do we bridge that gap? How do we take all this information and make it actionable for our listeners?
That's the million-dollar question. And that's what we'll be exploring in the rest of this deep dive.
So stay tuned, folks, because it's about to get really interesting.
We'll be right back after a quick break.
It's like we've got all these pieces of the puzzle, Basir's journey, the equipment options, the different ways to approach fitness. And now we have to help our listener figure out how they fit together for their unique situation.
Exactly. And I think a big piece of that puzzle is the why. Like, why are you even pursuing fitness goals in the first place? Batsir was driven by stress, but our listener might have totally different motivations.
Right. Are they looking for a mood boost, weight loss, increased strength? It could be any combination of those.
It's so important to know your why because it helps you figure out the how.
100%. Like if someone's main goal is to just de-stress and find a sense of calm, then maybe a water resistance rowing machine would be a good fit.
Oh, yeah, because it's so rhythmic, almost meditative.
Exactly. It's not just about burning calories. It's about how the exercise makes you feel mentally and emotionally.
And let's say someone's really motivated by data and tracking their progress.
Well, then a treadmill with a built-in heart rate monitor and an app that logs your workouts might be perfect for them.
It's like choosing the right fitness partner.
Oh, I like that.
Like you wouldn't pick a workout bunny who's always pushing you to your limits if you prefer a more gentle approach.
Exactly. Your equipment should be like a partner that supports your goals and your personality.
So how can we help our listener figure out who their ideal fitness partner is in terms of equipment?
Well, let's go back to those rowing machine reviews for a second.
Okay.
We talked about resistance types, but there are also practical things to think about, like storage options.
Oh, yeah. Storage is a big one, especially if you don't have a lot of space. I remember those old rowing machines that were like massive.
Right, but luckily they make foldable ones now, like the Sunny Health and Fitness SFRW 5515.
Oh, so you can just tuck it away when you're not using it.
Exactly, and that can make a big difference mentally, too.
You mean like if your equipment isn't constantly in your face, it might be easier to stick to your routine.
Right, it's all connected to your physical space, your mental state. It's about creating a sustainable routine, something you can actually stick with.
Now with treadmills, I was really impressed with some of the features, like the incline options on the Sunny Health and Fitness Premium treadmill.
Yeah, that's a great way to add variety and challenge yourself.
Kind of like Bassier does with her multidisciplinary approach.
Exactly, and it's not just about the physical challenge, it's about that feeling of accomplishment, that mental resilience.
Speaking of feeling empowered, I was geeking out over the Nordic Track treadmill with the iFit training programs.
Oh yeah, it's like having a virtual trainer right there with you.
Guiding you, motivating you, keeping you on track.
It's pretty amazing what technology can do these days.
It all comes back to that idea of personalization. Just like Bassier found her own unique path, our listener needs to find what works for them.
I love how we've brought it all together, Basir's inspiring journey, the specifics of home workout equipment, and the bigger picture of motivation and sustainability.
So true. But with all this information, it can be overwhelming. What are some key takeaways for our listener? At the end of the day, it's important to remember that fitness isn't a one-size-fits-all thing.
Totally. It's not about reaching some magical finish line.
It's about finding what makes you feel good. You know what challenges you, but in a healthy way.
Yeah, and what brings you joy?
Exactly. We talked about Melia's multidisciplinary approach, and I think that's a great model for anyone.
Like, you don't have to limit yourself to just one type of exercise.
Right. Maybe you love rowing, but you also want to do some yoga.
Why not do both?
Exactly. It's about creating a fitness routine that fits you.
And that's where home workout equipment can be so great.
Because you have the freedom to create your own experience.
You're not limited by class schedules or gym crowds or anything like that.
And speaking of creating a space, let's go back to Melhia for a second.
Okay.
Remember, she's not just a coach, she's also competing in Miss Health and Fitness.
Right. And that competition is about so much more than just looks.
It's about celebrating women's strength and resilience and individuality.
And it's challenging those traditional beauty standards.
It's inspiring to see women like Melhia embracing all of that.
And let's not forget about the work she's doing to give back to her community.
Yeah, she's supporting some amazing causes.
It's a good reminder that fitness can be a catalyst for positive change.
Not just in our own lives, but in the world around us.
Exactly.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what are some key takeaways for our listeners?
Well, first, I think Malia's story reminds us that fitness is a journey, not a destination.
It's not about being perfect.
It's about finding what works for you and what makes you feel your best.
And remember, there's no right way to do it.
Experiment, explore, find what you love.
And when it comes to equipment, Think about your needs, your space, and your budget.
Do your research, read reviews, maybe even try some things out before you commit it.
It's like buying a new pair of shoes. You want to make sure they fit right.
Exactly. And finally, remember that sustainability is key.
You want to find a routine that you can stick with.
Fitness should be empowering, not stressful.
So as we close out this episode, we want to leave you with one thought.
Okay.
Now that you've heard Melia's story and explored all these options,
What's one small step you can take today to move closer to your fitness goals?
it doesn't have to be anything big.
Maybe it's taking a walk or researching rowing machines or just committing to moving your body for 15 minutes.
Every journey starts with a single step.
That's so true.
And remember, you have the power to shape your own fitness journey.
You got this.
Embrace it, celebrate your progress, and don't be afraid to ask for support along the way.
We're all in this together.
It's been awesome diving into this with you.
Thanks for having me.
And before we sign off, don't forget to click the link below for more resources and inspiration on your fitness journey.
There's a ton of great stuff on there.
Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive. Until next time, stay curious, stay active, and keep exploring.